The U.S. Mint's first Buffalo dollar. How many of you remember the year? It's a couple decades back. Well, most of you are going to go with it's the first ever sellout by the U.S. Mint. That would be 2001, right? But the answer is, the actual first Buffalo dollar was 2 years earlier, I should say, 1999. Look at this special offer. And actually, there were two special coins made in 1999, the last year of the 20th century. And we're going to start with the Buffalo, because on one side, we're celebrating that beautiful park that if you haven't been to, you have to. It's a bucket list item, which is Yellowstone, the 125th anniversary of the very first ever national park. So we show the geyser, which we've all heard of or seen of before, on the right-hand side. But the back of that coin, and we'll get to it in a minute here, is the Buffalo dollar. The first Buffalo, 1999, not 2001. Now, the other coin, the same year, is another doozy, a big-time special by the U.S. Mint. And that is, in 1999, for the first time in U.S. Mint history, and the only time right now, going forward, we paid special tribute to one of the first ladies, Dolly Madison, right? I mean, the woman that saved all of the photos during the War of 1812. I mean, all the men took off. She stayed there and grabbed all the photos with some of the people and took all the important parts of our early founding with her to protect, on top of many, many other things. But that's the shot right there, everybody. 1999 is the year of the first Buffalo dollar. Well, tonight, since my competition sells that dollar you're looking at right now for $110 by itself, we just thought we would save you some money and give you two coins for less money. The two coins of 1999. But it gets better on that Dolly Madison. Do you know that when they pushed this coin through, they hired Tiffany & Company to design the obverse and the reverse. The first time in U.S. Mint history that they had an outside company design the actual coins themselves. Now, over the last couple of decades, we've seen, like with the state quarters and others, where citizens would put their designs forward and then the governors would pick the one they liked, but then all the renderings were taken care of and the final stages were done by the U.S. Mint engravers and the U.S. Mint artists. These were an exact bull. And on top of that, to pay recognition to Tiffany & Company, the U.S. Mint allowed Tiffany on both sides of the coin to give it a privy mark. So when people talk about privy marks on U.S. coins for the first time, some might say the V75 Silver Eagle, or they might go backwards to the 2020 W quarters because they put a privy on those in circulation, right? Nah, it was this coin. This was the very first time ever a private company mark. And the mark is on the front and the back. It's below the date on the obverse. So right there, you see 1999, and then you see their privy mark right on the edge. And on the reverse, it's above Montpelier, right, the building itself. So it's a two-coin set, everyone, in the original government packaging. And again, there is the home, Montpelier, and above that is where that privy mark is by E Pluribus Unum, right above it. You can't miss it. But it's a privy mark on both sides, right below the steps on the left-hand side. I was looking right at it when I was referencing. I have no idea why I said E Pluribus Unum. My apologies. So you think about it, 1999 was a great year in collectible coins. Now these are 90% silver dollars, just like the Morgan and Peace dollars. Same size, same weight, only these are proof editions. You can tell that because the background looks, it's a mirrored background, looks like a water based upon the contrast with the frosting. But right there, that's the first Buffalo dollar. Period. Now there was a Buffalo half dollar in 1991. That was part of the Mount Rushmore 75th anniversary. But the dollar, well, the dollar was the 1999. Here's another thing to think about. They made 224,403 of the Dolly Madison. Think about that. Very tiny number. But the Yellowstone was even smaller. I remember the advertisements in the newspapers back then, before the internet, obviously, and the U.S. Mint advertising on the airwaves. But they only showed that side. If you didn't get the coin, you never would have known the buffaloes on the back. And that's the reason why there's only 187,595. So here's a question. The lowest, they made 500,000 of the buffalo, right? The 2001, that sold out instantly. The first sellout in U.S. Mint history. With that, there was 272,000 of them that were proof. And we sold out last week on that proof at $149.95. Our competition's north of 200. This one is rarer. There are fewer of these made by almost 100,000 coins less. For proximity, remember the year 2021, the Morgan and Peace Tower program? They made 175,000 and they disappeared. You can't touch the coins today. This year, 2023, they brought out 275,000. It's still sold out. This one's rare. Both of these are rarer than that. Guys, we got to put a 30-second clock up. Down to only 8 pairs left. If you are visiting us via the web, avccoins.com. Push this one through your shopping cart. Lock it down. If I, Allison, Alex can entice you with something else later on as the show progresses, call us back. Let us know you have an order placed already online, and we'll find it and we'll add to it. We just hate it when we lose a sale. We don't want to lose a sale. And I know you don't want to lose a value like this one. So the original Buffalo. Here it is. The original Privy Mark. Here it is. This 2-coin pair under $50 each. Now that's special.